Okay, guys, I think it's about time we put this thing together. We've cleaned up our tuning gang. He's a little bit better than what he was. Transformer's a little bit better than what he was. We've put some silver paint on him. Now, this is a rust guard paint, so it should do the job. I don't want to paint the cardboard on the outside, the wrapping. I want that to look original. What else have we got here? Our two standoffs, which I think I've showed you this. And first of all, I'll get some solder happening here in the spots where we need to solder. Our chassis is ready. So it's a matter of what goes in first. I think I'll do the transformer. That way, when I tip it upside down, I'll put something on the bench for this. It can sit on the transformer and hence hold it up off the bench. So yeah, I think we'll do that. Now the original picture, or when I took this apart, the centre taps and the ground went through here. The one's a screen, one's a centre tap. Went through this hole, and it didn't have a grommet. There was also an aerial wire went through there. So I don't know. I think he should have a grommet in there. Okay, and those fellas go right on there. Now what I'm going to do to hold all these nice and neat, a little cable tie, a little black cable tie, just up there, just to make him neat. Okay, I think it's time for the exciting bit. Now, that's the rear. Cans go at the rear, and we're putting in a little screw, a nut, and the star washer on that one there. So, first of all, we'll get our board mounted. And I want this to make very good contact on the other side with the screw and the washer on this side. So just before we do that, and this applies if you've painted a chassis, we've got to get the contact happening right there. So I'm going to get a burr drill and just get rid of the paint just around the hole so that the screw makes very good contact. There was a rivet in there, as you saw, but yeah, we're not doing that. I'd rather make it accessible. Okay, this fella's ready to put in. Now, before we put him in, I want to clean the contacts there, which will be our cleaner there, just a contact cleaner. I want to put a little drop of oil down on the back, probably not that much, and some on the bearing. So the bearing, that's lovely, that's moving very nice. And I want to, yes, I've put too much on there. And actually he's freed up quite nice, but he may be a little bit loose. We may have to tighten him just with this screw here. Just work him in like that. And yeah, I think he's a little bit loose. As you can see, he wants to fall down there by himself. That's a little bit too loose. So we'll undo our nut, tighten our screw up slightly, just so that he catches, yeah, just a firmness, but not too firm, so it breaks a dial cord. Okay, get a screwdriver and just tighten him up a little bit. And that was a little bit too much. I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit less. That's pretty nice. Now, if they're too loose, what happens is the vibration of the speaker of the radio vibrates the chassis and the case, vibrates this thing, and he moves off frequency for you. And then you've got to keep retuning it. So if you ever have a radio in the future that's doing that, this is too loose. That's nice. That's perfect there now. That will hold its position. Okay, let's put this on. We're just putting this fella on. He joins on to your tuning gang. That is a 435 picofarad. Is that fella there? Okay. Now it says, as you can see, 435. But there's only 35 written on the little cap. The 4 is missing. So, yeah, but he reads 430 picofarad. So he's good. Okay. Next one. There we go. Pin 7 of our 6BE6. Okay. They're done. Okay. The next one we better wire up is all this transformer business onto the circuit board. So I'll drag up some pictures and we'll get onto that. This red wire goes to that track there. We're not chasing this on the circuit diagram at the moment. We're just soldering these up as per what was on the photos or the video to start with. Okay. So the next one, the ground for our 6.3 volt winding. which is our valve heaters, and our dial light goes on this ground here. Our live for our 6.3, or our 6.3 active, or 6 point whatever you want to call it, but this is the other end of our 6.3 volt winding. Is our one side of our high tension to our 6x4. Next is the other side of our high tension to our 6x4, which is our rectifier. Oh, I moved that cable a little bit too soon. There we go. We're getting rid of them. They're disappearing. Okay, so we've got the green and the green. We've just done those two to the anodes of the 6x4. And, well, it says brown. That certainly doesn't look like brown to me. That's black, black, black. But there is a brown over here. So this may be the center tap. So what's this one then? Black. So red and black is supposed to be your AC in. What's the go here? Heaters. Okay. Red and the black. Okay. Let me check the photos again here. Right, guys, we're a little bit confused here following the photos. It's not this red that goes there. The red and the black are AC in, so they've got to go to my switch pot, which is going here. Okay. The red and the blue are our transformer, our sockets for our transformer that go here. So I will reroute these so they're on top and they're going to the switch. I think that's how they were wired, although we possibly could leave them underneath. It wouldn't make any difference. We might do that, actually. It keeps the top tidier. So now let's put on the red and blue leads for our transformer. Oh, boy. And those ones are these fellas here. Okay? So these are the ones now that go into here. From our B plus, which is that fella there, it's our red wire. And with this one, it goes up through the grommet. I'll show you what this is. There you go. Just plugs in the transformer primary, just plugs into this. Just for you guys that haven't seen this before. I haven't seen this before, so hopefully you'll find it interesting. And we bend him over a little bit to stop him pushing out. Okay. He goes up onto our B plus line, which is right there. Okay. Bend him down a little bit there, make him look nice. Now, the blue one, and the blue one is exactly the same. It's a very dark blue. I'll straighten him so that we can get him in there. Bring him up, push him through, bend him over a little bit, like that. Okay. Now our blue, I'm taking under these. He goes down here to the plate of our 6AQ5. And it's that fella right in there. We'll double check all this when we're finished anyway, but that's looking pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay. And as I said, we'll leave the red and the black under here and go up to the top to connect onto our switch. As for underneath, pretty well done. Okay. So now we'll mount our potentiometer, our volume control, and wire him up in around here. Look, once again, look back at me photos. We don't have to. I mean, we can go via the volume control, which, sorry, I couldn't see the camera there. We can go via the volume control, like the pin 2 of the couplet, ground, and up here to that resistor, the 2.2 meg. But why, when we've already taken photos? So that's, I'll be doing the easy way, and well, an old bloke like me gets a bit lost every now and again, so this stops me from doing that. And there's our 2 little points that our transformer plugs into. Okay, now I do have our 3K put back in there. I've put him up on a bit of a standoff there, a wire wrap and a standoff, so that he's away from the board, and yeah, it just gets the heat away from the board a bit. Because once again, we don't want this fella back. Now, if we can slip him in there, hopefully he fits. And he does. Put our star washer on. Our nut. Okay, let's get him wired up. I'll tighten him up once I've done this. Okay, now when we're wiring this is our transformer. 2 poles here, so one pole is those 2, and the other pole is those 2. We turn him off, we shouldn't have bit hard on the fingers. That's open, that's open. Okay, so we'll wire it in. So the top 2 are the AC in, and the bottom 2 are our transformer. Okay, so this just verifying that that fella is going okay, there's no shorts between them. Okay, so we'll use the bottom 2 for the transformer. Now guys, we've got the switch wired up on the transformer there, but what we haven't got with this at the moment is a fuse. Now, you know that I like putting fuses on these things. They should have a fuse. So I'm going to find a place, probably in here somewhere, to mount a small fuse holder, and just use a 205 fuse, so just a small one, and maybe a 1 amp. And just in case anything shorts in here, it blows the fuse straight away. I just like it being like that. Okay, so that's the next job. Okay, so I didn't record all this. It's just a matter of putting a power cord in. I've got a strain relief in there.
the active to the fuse, which is covered, but the ends are not covered at the moment. I am going to put a little blob of Celastic over the ends of that, the neutral cure Celastic, so nothing corrodes, and it just stops you touching anything there. But mind you, we've got active on the back of the pot anyway. Okay, so both the cables come over here to the pot. It's wired underneath to the transformer. The ground wire goes to our main earth point here for our transformer. And yes, that is a very good connection to ground. Okay, so this is the cord I'm using from Carl, one of his special cords. It's they're just brilliant. Yeah, so I might put a link below if you're looking for cords or knob felts, capacitors, of course. Go to Carl. He's the man to see. So check out the link below there. And yeah, just makes the job very easy, very straightforward, and very compliant with plugs like this. Yes, we can't fit the old plug legally and have it all nice and legal, but this is the next best thing. Okay, now the next thing I think is putting on our brackets here and over here for our rod antenna, and then wiring the rod. Our oscillator trimmer up the top here. Now this isn't a normal trimmer. This is not the one you stick a screwdriver in and turn him around. This is a preset one. Now it's a wire wrapped around a ceramic former, and that wire is, you can just see him there, he's cut to length where the alignment is correct on the high end of the band with the oscillator. So if you're looking at 1400, you set it at 1400 and you adjust, or you shorten or lengthen that little wire wrapped around there. If you want half a turn, and it doesn't take much to vary it. Okay, so if you haven't seen one of those before, I know lots of you guys have and worked on them, but for the newbies, you may not have seen that before, but that's what they are. Okay, so he just solders on our tab of our tuning capacitor, and the other one there, the other wire there, just solders onto the ground point. Okay, so we'll do that now. If I can get him to stay there. and we may or may not alter the electrical length of that wire. I'm not sure where it's up to. I didn't have a look at the alignment before I pulled this radio apart. So if it needs to be done, well, we shorten, as I said, shorten or lengthen that little coil. Okay, so now it's a matter of a little bit of heat in here. I don't want to use the big iron again if I can get away with it. It's certainly hot enough for any application. It's a good iron, that, for big stuff. But this is working. This is working okay. So there we go. Solder him in. And he just sits there like that. But we'll see how he is when we come to the alignment of this. Okay, what's next? I reckon almost up to the aerial rod, aren't we? Yes. Okay, so we've got a couple of aerial rod holders that need a bit of a clean up. There's a bit of old glue and rubbish. Wax will fix any of the loose windings on the aerial rod. Okay, so we'll clean these up, get the aerial rod, and we'll have a look at him.
Okay, the rod antenna. I've tidied the ends up with some, I've just taped him up at both ends. This end goes to the into the radio, into the chassis. This one goes to our antenna gang, of our tuning gang. Now, there's no other winding on this. There's just the one. That's all that was on it. But as you can see, for an outside external antenna, we've got L4 and L5. Now, I don't know what these are. This is like IF transformers. This diagram here is your oscillator, but this one seems to be L1. This oscillator is L2, and then we've got L3 and L4. Now, all I can do here is, when this is finished, is do maybe 3 or 4 loops around the end of the rod and see if that's going to work. I don't know which end. The indication here is it's the end away from the tuning capacitor. So it's the end that connects into your IF and your AGC back to here. So I don't know with this. I don't know whether these 2 windings were on this and they're missing, but I mean the radio did work. So all we can do is try this, see how well it works. If it's a poor performer, well, we'll put a few loops of wire on whatever end suits on the rod. So, okay, so that's about all we can do with that. This is Litz wire. It's about 0.5 mil, I would say, just looking at it, and it's like a spring. It just sits there, and that's how we can adjust our lower end. So yeah, we'll do all this. We'll do all this adjustment and everything in the alignment. Okay, so that's it so far. We'll get the loop put on the radio and then look into this a little bit further. I don't think I've got any other. We do have another schematic here, and as you can see, it's probably a little bit clearer on this one. L4, L5. So yeah, a little bit unsure of what the go is. It doesn't show anything on any of these diagrams. There's no tuning for the bottom end, so I mean, yeah. So all we can do is suck it and see, as they say. Okay, we'll get him put on. Right, now where we're up to now, I have glued this fella together. I don't know how this is going to go yet. I've put some super glue and put the piece that broke off back on, but I think that should have had a bit of a slot in there. So I may have to get something in there and just take that out a little bit on my poor man's lathe, which is a drill, which we can attach to this end. Although this one only has one slot, so maybe that one did, but it's a bit of a tight fit on there, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably break again. So we've got to look into that. The rod antenna, all I've done is put some tape around the end of it. Now I'll get this tuned. We can alter this for maximum signal at the lower end of the band. So that's how we tune this fella, by these coils. And once I've got that set for maximum signal, I'll run some wax along there, and that bit'll be okay. Okay, now the aerial trimmer on here, I've pulled apart. He was rusty inside. I'm in the process of cleaning this one up. I'll show you this when I'm putting him together so you can see how these work. Now, the main concern is our tuning pulley. As you can see, the rubber's not real good on there. And I'm thinking, that looks like it's been pushed on there somehow. Washes tight. I think there is a circlip here. I don't quite know what it does. Maybe the rubber pushes on from this end. But what I'm going to use for that, I don't know. So he just sits, in there. All right, well, that's where I'm up to at the moment. So I'll go ahead, see what I'm going to do with this. I'll record the trimmer when I'm putting it together. We've cleaned up the knobs. They've come up pretty nice. So, on with the show. Now, this tuning assembly, I've got him apart. There was two circlips go in there. The pulley goes on the back here, and the circlips sort of hold the pulley back in position on the back of the shaft. And when that goes in the radio, it's one piece, sort of like that. And there should be I reckon there's a circlip missing off the front. Why would there be two there and none here? Anyway, that's how it was. That's the bit I've got to replace. Now, I'm thinking some sort of hose, and actually cut the centre out a bit and make a pulley, such as fuel hose or something like that. That's rubbery. It's quite rubbery. It's just falling to pieces. So just not real sure. But anyway, that's the challenge at the moment. Well, guys, there's been a few hassles with this thing. I didn't record all this. I've put a little rubber sleeve on there, and actually all seems to turn okay. it's quite good. I've put the bracket on for the pilot light, cleaned up this. It was all corroded and with rust and so forth. So done all that. The capacitor, it's on a slight angle, but that's just the way, well, that's how it was actually. It's I can't get that straight and get all the pins to come through the circuit board without major modifications. So he can just sit there. That's, yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, so now it's time for some RF. And what we'll be doing here, I'll show you the remains of the trimmer cap. I've got the others soaking to de-rust them. And then we'll put the rod antenna on. So, yeah, that's the next part of the project. So that's about all I can show you at the moment. And as I said, our little oscillator trimmer, well, we may have to adjust that, but I don't think so. We'll try and leave well enough alone, I think. This radio's, it's starting to be a little bit annoying with the little things that, little mechanical things that just aren't quite right. But anyway, okay, we'll be back soon. I'm calling it a day now. So this is a slow project, but we're getting there. Okay, I've cleaned the tuning capacitor up. Got rid of, there's still a little bit of gunk in there, but that's not going to worry us too much. Most of the rust is gone from this. A little bit hanging on the side there that's, yeah, almost broken, but with the rust. But anyway, it will work. So we'll just take the screw and the micro washer out. We'll put this fellow in first. There we go. We'll then put our micro washer on there. Now we'll put our top plate. Now I'll just bend him back up a bit because we want him at a right angle. He goes on like so. Well, we've lost our micro washer. Put him back in there. Okay, push the top plate down into position. Now our micro washer has the hole in the center. He looks correct. Put our washer on. Now screw should drop right down to the bottom. Like so. It's gone through the micro washer. And I'll have to get myself a little screwdriver of some description. Here we go. And that's him. And there he is, put together. Now, we'll use the top plate and the screw as the ground, and this one here goes to the terminal on our tuning gang. If you can put it the other way around, but the problem is every time you touch the screw, it throws the tuning off. You want this as ground and the other plate as your live plate of this little capacitor. Let's put the meter on him and see if he works. Just quickly. Oh, no, you can see that there. Okay, here we go. And we've got 18.9. So that's our picofarad reading. And if I tighten him a little bit more, there we go, up to 30, and back him off. And minimum capacitance of this one is, well, about 3. So we're looking at 3 to 30, close, 3 to 32 on our meter. So there you go. He's working lovely. He adjusts properly. Let's get him on the radio. So now we'll fit our trimmer before we put the aerial rod on. So I've just got this fella just so he slips on over the tag on the tuning gang. Sits like that. Solder him on here. There we go. Don't know whether he's not quite there yet. He should put a bit of flux on this, guys. There we go. He's on now. Plenty of solder there. Okay, now we've got to get some solder on the ground point there. Okay, now at the moment I've got my iron on 480 actually, because I've upped it there to do a bit of the ground chassis soldering. Normally I run it on about 380. And if I'm doing the PCB work, Donnie from Don's old radio shed actually asked me what I run the iron at doing the PCBs. Now, I sit my iron on about 320 to 350 when I'm doing the PCBs. Any hotter, it'll lift the track on you, and yeah, this is not taking either. I need a bit more heat here. So yeah, any hotter than that, it'll lift the track, and yeah, this is not going real well. It's just starting to now. There we go. There we are. And of course, remove the drip. Look at that. There we go. Don't need that bit. Right. That's good. That's in there. This is fairly easy to get at. I've put it on that angle so that we can sort of tune it from the back of the radio. And now it's time, well, to put the rod. These things have got one side chamfered off, and it goes in here, and that one side sort of is on there. It goes in just like that. Now, to me, it looks like the other one should have been the other way around, but number one, it doesn't fit the other way around, and the hole's on the wrong side and everything else. So, looks like it should, go in from this way with the chamfered edge off against that, but no, this is the way they built it, and that's the way it goes in. Now with these, I'm going to put, actually, I think these are different sizes. Let's see. Yeah, this one fits better on this side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath these once I put the rod in, just on one, because you can take one off and then take the rod out. So yeah, just this one seems okay. He's not bad. This one here is fairly easily dislodged. So I might put some glue just on the inside of here to, and I mean glue, probably a little bit of Celastic or something like that to hold it in place. And this one will be the one that you take out, you remove, and you can take your rod out from that end if it ever needs to come out. Okay, so we'll do that down the track. Now this wire was connected to where the trimmer goes on our tuning gang. Okay, and if I move that fella out, I'm almost trying to do this upside down. There we go. Just turn him around. Right. Okie doke. Our tag there for the end of that end will, it's actually a little white wire that goes down in under the chassis. So I'll show you that when we do that. But meanwhile, this fella just connects on there, and I'm pretty sure he's tinned, so there shouldn't be a problem putting him on. Okay, well, just soldered our wire on the aerial rod. He goes down through our ground connections where the transformer went through. This is if you were doing one of these. Comes up here and up to that track right there. Okay, so that's where he connects. If you get one of these, that's where he's connected up. Now, where that goes, I can show you on the circuit, but it's actually, yeah, to the 2.2 meg. It's an AGC point, and it comes around here to one of the legs of the IFT1, the intermediate frequency transformer number 1, the first one, which is right beside the 6BA6, or in between the 6BA6 and the 6BE6 in there. Guys, I think it's time for some valves, and you know what comes after that? We plug this bit in, possibly to the NIM bulb in case I've made some mistakes, which is very much on the cards. But yeah, I'm fairly confident that it's probably not going to go up in smoke, but whether it works or not is another thing. Okay, we'll leave it at that, and I think I'll call it quits for today. We'll come back tomorrow morning, put the valves in, and we'll see if she works. Okay, we've got a nice rainy morning this morning here in the Central West, and yeah, well, we've had quite a bit of rain, in around 40 mil, I think, 45 mil, which is quite good. I suppose we need it to fill everything up. Now, it's time, guys, to put some valves in this, then plug in that bit. Okay, so let's go through them. Up here, right at the top end, is our 6BE6, which I'm putting in that fella. Now, this is the original one out of it. I'm just going to try it and see how he performs. He's our mixer converter at the front end. Okay. Next one in is our IF amp, which is our 6BA6. Okay, we'll put him in. There we go. Right, now the next one across is our detector, which is a 6AV6. Now I think this is the new one because we had one of these. The old one in this did not work. It was lighting up, but no signal through it. I think I've got them mixed up here because they both ended up on the bench. They both look very similar, but I think this is the new one. So this is the one we're going to try. Here we go. Now, we've got our rectifier, which is the center, the most center one, which you'd think it'd be on the outside closest to the transformer. But anyway, it's a fairly dodgy looking 6X4. This is the original one. I think this was a bit weak. So we're just going to see how this goes. Okay, we may have to change this one. Okay, 6X4's in. And our amp is our 6AQ5. And as you can see, starting to lift off, which is a shame with these. Okay, 6AQ5 is in. Right, our speaker transformer wires, well, I've told you where they go. They plug in here. Now we're looking for the blue on this side, like that. Red on that side. Well, actually there it's brown, but underneath, blue and red. Okay, our speaker will be right just sitting there. We'll certainly hear it if it goes bang, or hear some vibes or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I've got no idea. This is, as you're seeing it, is as I'm doing it this morning. Now, that is turned off. We're going to monitor our HT. So I'll sit our meter where you guys can see it. And we'll go for, now I'm going to get a couple of jumper leads to do this. It's a lot easier than using the meter probes. Okay, I've got the green wire going to our tuning gang ground, which is on our meter. The red meter lead going to the plate of the 6AQ5. So we'll just check that as it's running. Okay, let's plug him in. Okay, now let's put him on 100 volts. This is the dim bulb we're watching. I've always got to make sure that's on number one. Both of them on number one. Okay, so that's the one we're watching. Probably won't do much at 100 volts. Now we'll supply power now to here. Nothing happened, which is good. Now, what I'll get here is, this is a little bit hard to turn by hand. Okay, here we go. Yes, a little bit of a dim bulb there. So, no smoke, no bangs. Well, there shouldn't be. We've got a dim bulb in, HT, not doing much yet, but we're only at 100 volts. And we're not conducting yet. But this 6X4 is very weak, I think. We also have a dial light, which is glowing. Going to take him up a bit to 130. We're still not conducting. Here we go. She's coming up. Come on. I may have to get another 6x4 here in a moment. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, take him up a bit more. 160. As you can see, HT's starting. She's starting to conduct on the rectifier. Pretty low voltage, but yeah, easing it up nice so I can see there's no problems. Okay, up a bit more. 180. We've got a good dial light. Dim bulb. Yeah, we're drawing 9 watts. About right. We're still low here. Still very low. So the 6x4, I think we will have to replace. Okay, here we go. 220. Dim bulb's on. We're coming up here a bit. We probably won't have any sound at that level. Nothing's... Yeah. No. Guys, the 6x4 is just too weak. I'm going to turn him off and let me go and find another 6x4, put in there and see how we go then. Okay, we'll go put this back to 100 volts, turn him off. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, 6x4, but certainly not new. But still, probably less hours than the other fellows got on him. So we'll try this one and see what sort of HT we get out of him. That's a very tight socket, that one. I suppose it's good. All right. We will turn our dim bulb on. Now, we'll go this time to 150 volts to start with and turn him on. We'll watch our dim bulb. Okay. Yep. Well, so far reasonable, but this is the one we're looking at. We're drawing 8 watts there already, so yeah, that's dimming down as things warm up. We really need this one to get straight away well over 50 volts, 80 volts. Here we go. Hopefully he's a good one. He's probably been kept because he's good. We're climbing pretty quickly. Yep. We're sort of, well, we're looking a little bit better, aren't we? Okay. Take her up a bit. 180. And we're going up there. We don't have any activity there at the moment. Only at 102. Resistor is no worries there. There's no heat. No activity there at the moment. We're going up to 240. Sitting on 116. Still has no activity. I wonder, is that... I hear a crackle. We've got audio. That's probably the dead 6AV6 that I've picked up. We do have a crackle there. Crackle there, which is good. Probably a bit more spray on those sockets. We don't have anything there. I'm going to change the 6AV6. Sorry, guys. But you're witnessing this in real time. Yeah, not real sure about that one. Okay, here's another 6AV6. Put him in. Well, here we go. We might also go to the other dim bulb, number 2, a bit brighter, and get our HT up a bit. Now we're talking. Nothing yet. Maybe we were too low in voltage. So I'll change that 6AV6 back to what I thought was the new one. I think our voltage on the dim bulb was too restricted. Here we go again. We're on full voltage, we're on 240, we're on that dim bulb, which is just glowing. 21 watts, throwing the right amount. Here we come. Here we go. Okay. We got anything happening? We have a station. We're a goer, guys. There we go. And of course, if I want a little bit better signal in here, I'll turn my light off. Not much difference. That one is. So there she is. She's a goer. So let's do a really quick alignment on the tuning cap. And turn him around a bit. Look at that. 155 on the HT. What are we supposed to be, guys? Let's have a look. Okay. 180. We're still a little bit low. We'll go off the dim bulb. 175. Here she comes. Now she's coming up. 175 and circuit says 180. So I'd call that pretty close. Wow, she's working. And that's it. And there's Mr. Laws. Okay, we'll turn that down. Go down. We should be able to get ABC down here somewhere. There it is. And of course, in this shed, yeah, it's not good. But we may have to adjust this on our alignment to get the bottom end. That ABC station is at 549. It is 2CR in Cumnock, New South Wales. So, and I'm not real sure of the power, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I should know because I was involved in the radio industry for a lot of years, but yeah, I've just forgot what it is. It's old age. Okay, well, there we go, guys. May creep near both in Boomba area, so I like to keep an eye on the big wets and the big dries. If I look at the HT there at 175.9, that's close enough to 180 for me. Maybe if we want to get it up a bit, well, to make it look pretty, there you go, 180 on the dot. and we've got 238 going in. We're sitting at 26.8 watts, and she's a goer. Righto, I'm going to finish this video now. This is a quick one. We know it's going to work. The alignment next, and work out how I'm going to do this Bluetooth thing. The Bluetooth's not a problem. It's powering the Bluetooth is the problem. It needs 5 volts. We've got 6.3 AC. So, yeah, let's look into that a little bit and see, can we do this simply? I don't want an external plug pack or anything like that. I don't want a battery unit. I just want to be able to turn this on and be able to somehow automatically switch this to Bluetooth. Okay, so that's the challenge we've got with this fella. Okay, so there you go, guys. She's a goer. So until next time, I will also be polishing up the case, the dial, yeah, bits and pieces. I'll record bits and pieces, just little bits of it, and you can see where I'm up to next time. But there you go. I'm very happy with that. The 5AW Admiral. Catch us next time, guys. Bye for now.